Again, for the record, the documents are there, except which document again, sir, very clearly?
The documents are there for the loan applications. We're begging this board, this committee.
We need to put you on the mic, sir, just so we have it on the record.
We're begging this committee not to turn these over to this group. We're dealing with basically suicide bombers here that would come in.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Sir, let me.
Mr. Chairman,
They
sir, you are out of order.
You are out of order, and
Well,
if you
I'm
make
sorry,
a comment
but
like that, you will be asked to
will-
leave.
You are out of order, sir.
Stop.
I will,
Please, people, please.
I will retract that amount.
Please.
We.
Thank you. Here's the thing. Mr. Hess, would you not agree that these people, regardless of what you want to call them, have the right to access documents from you?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. And that is our job. We don't care what you call people. The bottom line, there is a law in the state of Florida that says you will give them every document that they request. And our job is to extract them. If you would have volunteered and done this properly, you wouldn't be here today under subpoena, sir. And that's just the bottom line. So, but again, maybe it's because I believe in human nature, but if there were transparency, and I know sometimes it gets to be very tedious to deal with people, but if people got the information they requested, even if you had to produce it 10 times, if you give them the information and let there be transparency and everything is done, I think a lot of these problems would probably be resolved. Problem is when people hesitate giving people documents. It's as simple as that. We all have a right to know. So I'm not here to scold you. I'm just telling you that I've been doing this for 5 years, and the majority of the complaints we hear is no one wants to, oh, we don't, that's the other group, or that's not they're not our friends. And we get to act like children. Well, all we want is transparency. And that's one of the things that I think drive us to this situation. And if people would bring these documents forward, we'd be fine. The gentleman, that said,
what they bought isn't exactly what the developer showed. There's only something like 52 parking spaces with 300 plus owners at the Casablanca.
I have to interrupt if for the sake of everyone else that's here today. I need to bring this to closure. Last comment?
Yeah, I would love to.
For the record, that information is incorrect, and the description he gave is of the Hollywood Beach Resort, which he has run for the past 10 years, not of the Casablanca.
Okay.
We took over in 1996.
Okay, let me put in last question so we can move on. Representative Garcia?
No. I was just gonna. I was gonna get into an argument because I know that the operation of the Casablanca wasn't proper. Yeah, actually, at that time, you had a. I used to be a city commissioner for the city of Miami Beach, and I went and complained to the manager at the time because your car runners were actually driving in the opposite direction right on Collins Avenue. So I know the operation wasn't satisfactory at the time. That's what I was trying to ascertain.
Members, any other questions?
And I lived there for 5 years across from that building.
Any other questions? Real quick, Mr. Schechter, what I do need is minutes of some of the board meetings, and I think that's what we're requesting. Also, a copy of the settlement between yourself and the board of directors of the Schechter Group. And supposedly there's an allegation, sir, in which you had received $20,000 of that particular agreement between the board of directors. Would you like to comment on that, or would you like to provide me documentation on that, sir?
Well, it's hard to respond to something outlandish. I received $20,000.
Sir, if that's an allegation, you're free to say this is not a courtroom. I'm just asking you for the record.
Well, I've never received $20,000.
Okay,
so.
you've never received $20,000 in a settlement between the board of directors and the Schechter Group. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Wasn't one approved?
All right.
One was approved, yes, but never paid.
One was approved, but never paid. I think that could be the one you've been talking
Well, remember
about.
my original comments. There were some serious allegations besides documents.
Listen, I'm here to face any allegation.
Okay. So
I've gone, if you go, because the Hollywood Beach is also a hotel. It's Ramada, which is also run by Mr. Shecker. And if you go in, I'm not sure, Yahoo or something, and you look at reviews for the Ramada there's many complaints about the hallway smelling, the carpeting is very dingy, and in fact, that's true.
okay, but let's go ahead and then close up on this one. But the issue, sir, would you like to respond to
I'd
that?
love to respond, sir.
Sir.
First off, I get credit where
Bring that mic a little closer.
I think they give me a lot of credit what I don't really deserve. Let's start with Hollywood, for example, and I'll finish with addressing the assessment that she's talking about. Hollywood Beach.
Questions, but I will tell you, Mr. Chair, I look forward to working with you and communicating with you a lot, because there's some very serious allegations that I could take a half hour and this is a public document that you can have access to, sir. I mean, there's a lot of questions on here. I will ask one when I'm done, but I'm not done looking into this. We're going to look into this and see why so many problems, because I know some of it is transparency. I think you just acknowledge that you guys don't do enough to get the information out, but some of these things in here are actually, these are some serious allegations, and I will not take everyone else's time here today to go through it. Again, I want to focus on documents.
Properties have professional management running the day-to-day operation, so I can't take credit for anything. I attend the regular board meetings, I oversee, and I hear what's reported. We have a website that the owners can log on to from home, report any problems. I personally overlook it. I get a copy of everything, and I forward it to the management company. The management company deserves all the credit because they're doing all the work. I don't really do anything.
Do you own the management company?
In Hollywood, I own
Yeah.
the management company.
Sir.
How about the Casablanca?
No, I don't.
Okay, you know, and as far as you attending all the board meetings, obviously the last one for the Casablanca, you were absent when you called it. So I mean, you do not attend all the board meetings.
Is that not a conflict, sir?
Is it a conflict
Is
that
that
I
not a
own the
conflict?
management company?
Yes, sir.
Actually, the answer is no.
How do you justify no on that one, sir? I would like to know that.
I didn't just own the management company. I've been at the Hollywood Beach Hotel for over 18 years now. I started as, and let me give you the answer. I think this requires your full understanding. I'm not ashamed of this. I own the hotel. It's a Ramada Inn. I own the management company. I own the timeshare management company. You asked me if I own O'Malley's. That happens to be adjacent to the property, irrelevant, but I own O'Malley's and I own. So this created problems with the management company. To make a long story short, at the end of the day, I brought a management company. We bid on the project the same as everybody else, and my management company won the award to be the management company.
Mr. Cheshire, let me ask you a question, and we're really getting long. You mentioned that you're a volunteer board member, but are you more than a volunteer? Do you use your volunteer as a board member to also turn this into a business for yourself? Do you make money from
How
this?
does anybody make money from a condominium?
Well, sir, you serve on
It's a
3
not-
boards, and you own a lot of things there, so I'm asking the question.
I
Is
serve
this
on the
profitable
board.
for you?
Yes, I own a lot of things there. The things that I own are worth millions of dollars, and I'm no different than any other owner. And there might be prejudice against me because I happen to be rich. If you want to get the
No,
rich
that's
guy,
not
go
the
ahead.
issue. It's got
But
nothing to do with
no,
your wealth, sir.
what has to do with it is the fact that I'm no different than any other owner, other than I have a lot more at stake than the most.
Continue. Last question. Campaign donations to members of I guess, political contributions in Broward. Was that paid from association funds, campaign contributions? You paid campaign contributions out of maintenance fees that people pay to elected officials
It was
in your
voted
city.
on by the board of directors to pay.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, sir,
Well,
this
no.
is why.
You
this
have
is
to
why-
understand what it's for. We're going for $2.5 million or $2.8 million from the city right now in the CRA board, and these are the people that are responsible for giving the association those funds.
Mr. Cheshire, again, it may be legal. It's our fault. I'm going to tell you, folks, it's our fault if we have laws that allow that to happen. But it's morally, please, it's morally incorrect. It's morally incorrect, and I'll state that in front of the camera and for the record. It's horrible to think that people that are barely getting through their lives, they're not wealthy like you are, sir, and God bless you for being rich. But the average citizen who works their tail off to make a living doesn't have that luxury and doesn't want their maintenance fees spent on a $600 meeting of board directors at a restaurant that you own. I'll ask you the question, does that pass the smell test again? It doesn't. Again, we're not in, and both groups can look at the documents that were presented here today. Gentlemen, for the record, you stated that you did pay for campaign contributions out of maintenance fees. I've been advised that that's illegal in the state of Florida. So,